So that's one of the reasons I started making quilts because I love to sew. At one time in my life, believe this or not, I actually wanted to be a professional seamstress. I wanted to go to New York City and be a professional seamstress. Can you think of anything that would be more of a headache than making clothes for people that could pay to have custom made clothes? Nope. That was in my young, naive days. Hey friends, it's Carol Saltbox Stitcher, and I am back for another floss tube, and this is episode number. Up close and personal. It is 87. What are you run? Are you being stumped? Running out of math problems, dear? Okay, so it's episode 87, and I have lots of stuff around me. So let's get started. So if you've been, and thank you for always coming, not always, but thank you for coming back to watch every time. I appreciate it. I have a lot of the same people that comment, and I really do appreciate it. So I don't do it for like the likes and the subscribers and the numbers. I do it because I love to stitch and I like to share what I've been working on or what I've done in the past or, what I want to do. So, anyway, if you're new, welcome. If you're returning, thank you. All of that to say that. So Margaret Felicia Dyson by Fox and Rabbit. And I've been told to hold things a lot longer, so hopefully I won't start shaking.
I didn't tell you that.
No, I know. Um, so this is my January sampler. I've done this is the fourth year. I just pick a sampler in January and work on it all month monogamously to try and get it finished. And I did get it finished. So I got it finished day before yesterday. And here she is. Margaret Felicia Dyson by Fox and Rabbit. I did bring a something to hold behind me, so let me see if that helps a little bit. So there she is. She's done. And it's not even the end of January, so I can play with other pieces for the rest of the month. I always play with whatever I want, so I don't know why I said that. That's kind of dumb. Anyway, there she is. She's finished. She is bright and probably a lot brighter than some of the ones have done in the past. But she has a lot of reds, and I really like her. So there was no over one. The words were all over two. I used 40 count vintage buttercream by Lakeside. And I used all the called for soie d'Alger, soie d'Alger, which is the skeins of silk. So here she is a little bit closer. And she's finished. So I really need to work on getting some of these things fully finished, framed, all of that good stuff. So then last night, I'm trying to think whether I finished Margaret during the day yesterday or the night before. Either way, it's the same. Because when I stitch at night, if it goes past midnight, technically it's the next day. So I guess you could say I finished her yesterday. So then I picked up my Jenny Bean for the Parlor series. And this is a 8-part series by Shakespeare's Peddler. I've talked about this before. And each section, to me, is like a finish. So this was the first one. You can get this from Kitten Stitcher. Kitten Stitcher, Shakespeare's Peddler, Teresa Vanette. They're all the same person. So this is the first one. I did not do the the big alphabet in eyelets. So here's the second one. The first one was the alphabet. The second one is Adam and Eve. So this is what I'm working on. And I'll work on this second section until it's finished. Eden was a paradise. And then after that, the next one is Noah's Ark. And then the Good Shepherd. The verse. And each one of these is a separate pattern that you purchase. So, you know, if you want to get started, you can buy a couple. And then this one is the forest. There's a couple other people stitching on this. I think Jenny Calculate Stitcher is working on this. This is the town. And then the last one is Jenny's house. I did have a question. I hadn't answered it yet. I had a comment with a question. And I'll show you that in just a second. But it was about the name Jenny Bean. I don't really know the answer because there are multiple pieces that say Jenny Bean. What I do know is that there's a scarlet letter piece from Jenny Bean that's from, I think, the 1800s. In fact, I have made a little bit of a start, but it's not enough to even call it a whip. And then I was also, I think Teresa Vanette told me this, that at one point years ago, some of the designers decided to pick a name. They kind of collectively did it, but they each picked a separate name for some of their pieces. And Teresa picked Jenny Bean. And then, let's see, Pineberry Lane. I'll think of it, but there's a name that she uses a lot too on some of hers. So I don't know all the designers that were involved, and I don't know what names they picked, but they kind of did it as a theme throughout their pieces. So last night I worked on, I have a thread here that's loose. So here's the first section. This is done on 36 count Ren by Picture This Plus. So that's the alphabet. And then this is the start of the Garden of Eden. So I had some of the blue cloud. I had a little bit of the sun. I finished the bird, finished the words, started I did this little tree, and then I started the big tree. So it's kind of funny though, because Margaret Felicia Dyson I was doing on 40 count with silks. And then the next piece I'm doing on 36 count with overdyed cottons. So it's almost like you have to get your mind like wrapped around a whole different feel. And here's the colors, I think. Yeah, these are the colors for what I'm working on, the Eden one. So like I said, I will continue working on this until I get a finish on that particular section. And then I may put it down. I'm not going to work on the whole thing because it's going to be huge. Here's the piece of fabric. So you can tell it's going to be huge. And I actually started it at the other end, but I decided I didn't want to waste that much fabric on the edge. So I moved it over, but I don't know how much usable I'll have over here, but maybe enough to do ornaments or something. I like to be really mindful of where my piece is on, where I put it on the piece of linen, because I stitch in hand. So if it's a small, maybe I'll leave 1.5 inches. If it's a sampler or a bigger piece, I usually leave 2-inch margins. So in other words, if I had a great big piece of linen, I wouldn't do a small piece like way in the middle, because to me, it's just, for me, it's wasteful for the way I stitch. So anyway. So then going forward, oh wait. Last time I showed you my whips, and there were a couple that I had put in a basket and then completely forgot to grab the basket. So these kind of go in addition to the whips I showed you last time. And I know a lot of people are, wow, you have a lot of whips and hopefully you can finish a couple. And so I've picked 18, 17, something like that, things that I'd like to finish this year. That's an aggressive count. Last year I think I finished 28 or 29 pieces, but some of them were very, very small. So I've picked ones that some are mediums and some are bigger than mediums, like a large. But I already have a Diet Coke. Thank you. I don't want any more coffee. Thank you.
It's decaf.
I know, but thank you. I'm into something cold now.
Okay.
He's just showing off how kind he is to me. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, whips. So I just have some that I for sure want to, I was watching my last video because I always watch them to see if I make any big mix-ups, which I usually do. So it's like, whatever. I'm not perfect. I cannot believe how many times I touched my nose. I was like, okay. But my nose really itches. I guess from talking. I don't know. I feel like I need to continually be, anyway. Leave your hand away from your nose, Carol. I need to have a big sign. No touching your nose. But then I'll be going like that. Was it Bewitched? See, I could just do that. That wiggle the nose, and then all these whips would be finished. Okay, back on track, Carol. Don't get too silly. So these are some of the whips that I didn't show you last time. Oh, so I picked like 17, 18, somewhere around there. Obviously, I have like 11 months to finish those because I've already done, January's almost finished, and I did a new start. But then I also have a list of things that are long-term projects. His Eyes on the Sparrow, and Dale, and They Sinned. All those great big ones that I showed last time. Those are long-term. Lord willing that I live long enough to finish those. Those are not ones that I'm planning to finish during 2023. So here's another whip. This is one that, for sure, at the end of my last video, I was like, where's my Anne Grimshaw? I thought that was part of my whips. It is. Like I said, it was in this basket that I didn't grab. This is by the Scarlet Letter. I love this piece. There's no reason why I haven't finished it. I think stitching on Quakers is a little challenging because the counting can be just challenging. So this is 36 count pecan butter by Lakeside. I wish it was 40, but it's not. But here's where I am. Oh, where's my little board here? So maybe you can see it better. I'm not good at managing these kind of things. I don't know if that helps at all. So I'm all the way down to the start. That's kind of in the way. The dilemmas of filming a floss tube. Ay. Okay, that's not going to work. So I'm all the way down to the large alphabet, almost. So there's some things I need to finish above the large, and then I can start in with the lowercase and the alphabets down here. I think it's almost all over 2. I don't think there's any over 1. Maybe her name. I'm not sure. But this is Anne Grimshaw, 1818. I started this in 2018. So it's not new. So this is where I am. I definitely think I can finish this year. So this is one of my plans. This is not one of the long-term ones. This is one that I want to finish. Like I said, I'm using the pecan butter, and I am stitching it with Gloriana Antique Black. I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to pick up in February, because I'm hoping in the next few days to finish the rest of that Eden Was a Paradise. At least by the, first. I can spend a week on it, I think, and get it finished. So I don't want to tell you the date, because now that my husband's working, he doesn't have as much time to do all the editing and stuff. And so like the last video, it took, 4 days, I think, before we finally got it uploaded. So if I tell you the date, then you're going to think, well, that didn't get uploaded. Anyway, whatever. Whips. The other whip, and I do have a few whips that are patriotic. I don't have any Christmas whips that I remember, but I do have a few Halloween whips or fall, but I didn't bring those out. But this one is the Heritage Sampler by Plum Street. I'm not going to take it out of the bag. Sorry for the glare. Heritage Sampler by Plum Street. This has been out there for a while, so it's pretty well known. It's not huge. So this is my progress on that one. This one I can use the board. I don't know how y'all do it with the boards. It's kind of hard to maneuver. So that's where I am. I decided not to do the border all the way around on this one. So hopefully it'll meet up. So that is a current whip. Would love to get that one finished this year, but I don't think I might have listed it in the same bag. I also have the other two that are companions, the Equality Sampler and A New Constellation. So I would love to get all those 3 done and framed and up on the wall. I have a lot of patriotic in the bedroom, so it would be good to do that. The next whip I wanted to show you, and this one I definitely will get done this year. This one is by Samplers Not Forgotten, and this one is Grand Old Flag. I got the kit from Country Sampler, so I am using their conversion. They may not have it kitted anymore, but you can always call Country Sampler, ask them for their conversion, and if you buy the threads from them, they will give you the conversion. And this one is done on, I think it's tin roof. by weeks. I didn't write it down. I'm pretty sure it's tin roof. And I have the house almost built. I should have ironed this one. I ironed Margaret Felicia Dyson. So this is where I am on this one. That is such a bad... Let me see if I can hold it a little better. It's such a bad wrinkle there. It makes it look like it's got some sort of diagonal issue. So that's the house. I got some of the border done. There's been a couple times I've picked this up and thought, oh, do I like it on this dark linen? Is it too faded? But every time I'm at Country Sampler at the store and I see the model, it's like, oh yeah, I definitely love it. So, and this is one that I may use their, the way they make their things look old by taking the walnut crystals, little bit, and they have a whole formula for this. You can actually ask them. And then they put it in with water, boiling water, to dissolve it, and then use an old paintbrush and just kind of paint around the piece. So again, Sampler's Not Forgotten, Grand Old Flag, Country Sampler conversion, and I really want to get that finished this year. That's the jumble of threads. So, like I said, this is going back to what I didn't show you last time. And then the last one that I forgot to show you. So there's one, two, three, four here. And that is my Village of Hawk Run Hollow by Carriage House. I don't think Kathy Barrick or Liz Matthews watch my video, but if they do, please, 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 let's start a petition. There needs to be another Hawk Run Hollow, but it needs to be the Stitchers or Stitchers Retreat at Hawk Run Hollow, something like that. And then you could have all the different houses, and people could use it like to make a drum and put their friends' names, like here's Susie's house, and here's Nancy's house, and here's Kathy's house. And then people that do wool, they could... I think it's a great idea. I'm not going to do it because I don't design. But if anybody watches or knows them, I think we need a Stitchers at Hawk Run Hollow. Here's where I am on this one. Did I show you that long enough? Okay, I better be careful here. The Village of Hawk Run Hollow. There's houses, there's village, there's map, there's Christmas. There's the one that's like at the beach. I don't remember the name of that offhand. There's Halloween. There's autumn. So anyway, so I've done the first block. I'm working on the second block. The second block is kind of, this is another one that's going to be a long term. The second block has kind of, I'm kind of stalled on it. And the reason is because these weeping willows, you have to count all the back stitch. So I'm on the second block. I've done the first block, done the second block. But I'm really anxious to get the third block, which is the City Hall, because I love doing houses. And I would love to do the houses at Hawk Run Hollow after I finish Village. So definitely long term. I am using, let's see, what did it call for? I think it called for maybe sand dune. Okay, where's the outside of the pattern? I don't know. I think I'm using sand dune. Well, let's see. Lakeside Linens, Needlepoint Silk, Carol Sims, she did this whole thing in 49 days. She's Sampler Farm. She did the model. Well, it says it's Lakeside Linens, and I'm using the NPIs, and I'm pretty sure it's Sand Dune. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but I did go through and I've done all of the boxes. So I could jump around if I wanted to. But then, sometimes when you jump around, you do your favorite ones first. And then at the end, you have all your least favorite ones to do. And it's really not, it's not good. It's not good. It doesn't make for a happy time. And yes, this is a lot of NPIs. And I've pulled from this stash a couple times. So that is another whip. And I need to pick a day. Maybe like Saturday. Every Saturday is Hawk Run Holiday. So that was the rest of my whips. So I'm going to mention one thing, and then I'm going to take a little break to get some more Diet Coke, and then I will be back. Okay, so I'm back. One thing I wanted to mention before I go into some of the other things I'm going to show you is I got a text from Christy, Daisy Case Primitives, and she told me that I needed to watch a floss tuber who was working on And They Sinned. Her name is Stitching. Well, her name is Heidi, but she's at Stitching Fae, F-A-E. Please go watch her. At least watch her last 2 videos that is her whip parade. But I've gone back and watched all of her videos. I think she's up to like 13 or 14, something like that. But her last 2 are excellent. And she stitches everything. She stitches Prairie Schooler, she stitches Dimensions, she stitches Mirabilia, Nora Corbett, Hands Across the Sea. She stitches it all. So, and Blackbird, I mean, it's really neat. And she's a prolific stitcher, I mean, she has tons of stitching progress and finishes and all that. So go watch Heidi, Stitching Fae. We'll put a listing in the drop-down box. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is stitching. What? Yes, stitching. I've mentioned this before, and for some reason, I'm always drawn in the spring to work on things like this. And what I'm talking about is pieces that have the subject of stitching, needle, thread, all of that. So first I'm going to show you a few things I have finished. They may be not fully finished. And then I'm going to show you some patterns of things I want to do. And we'll go from there. So stitching related, the first thing I want to show you is this one by With Thy Needle and Thread. It's called the Needleworker's Sampler. This came out in 2013, so it's not new. This was one of the first things I did on 40 count. So yes, I need to frame it. Yes, I need to frame it and put it in my sewing room, aka my padded room, because there's so much fabric in there. So this is a Needleworker's Sampler. Where'd my board go? Here it is. I did this quite a while ago. I'm not sure why I haven't had it framed yet. Do I have a date on here? I want to say I did this 17. I did it 2017, and it's still not framed. A needleworker sampler. It says, and this is common on some of these pieces I'm going to show you. All my scattering moments are taken up with my needle. Just not good at this, guys. It's challenging. So the top has a red house. The bottom is the verse. I remember this is one of the first things I did on 40 count. It's kind of long and narrow. So this is one that I think I'm going to take to be framed soon. So I'm going to set that one out. The next one I've done is by Scarlet House. Hold on here. I have the patterns in various array. I don't think I'm going to take them out of the plastic. This is called Samplers by Scarlet House. This one I used Ale by Picture This Plus. I used 40, but when I counted it, it was actually 44. And this is Samplers. This one I have yet to decide if I want to frame it or make a drum. I think Brenda had it made into a drum. But it was kind of tough because 44 count with overdyed, I think it's overdyed cottons. Yeah, overdyed cottons was a little thick. Definitely want to get that one framed, I think. Yes? The next one, and this isn't really specifically about stitching, but it's a la-di-da piece. I think it's la-di-da. Hold on. I actually think there's a similar one by Pineberry Lane. But this is Home by La-Di-Da. Can you see that? And I made this in 2019. Little did I know the following year we would all be at home for a year. And it's a needle book. I did it exactly as the directions tell you to do it. I put a needle minder, some scissors, and she gives you the brads. I bought the kit, so I don't know if the kit is still available. There's a little ruler. This is from the attic. The ruler didn't come with the kit. The fabric, a little piece of wool in the middle. So I put all the stuff in it, but it's Home by La-Di-Da. I put my initials on the back, but I didn't center them, but I don't care. Home. So that's one. Here's another one that I did. Again, not specifically about stitching, but it's a needle book. This is called A Stitcher's Wallet. This is by Threadwork Primitives. This came out in 2014, so this is really old. Again, this is one that I made from a kit. Oh, I showed you the pattern, didn't I, for Home? Yes, okay. I better hold it longer. Threadwork Primitives, Stitcher's Wallet. And I haven't finished it. I did the stitching. I did it in 2018. Did all the stitching, sewed it together. Just need to do the handwork because this becomes a pocket. So you just have to do a blanket stitch and then around here. So yes, I need to finish it. Oh, and then you put a button, a little button down here with a little, little loop. So that needs to get finished. The next one I want to show you is by Primitive Hair. I think this was also a kit. It was called Busy as a Bee, Needlewoman. Again, some of these are older because I did them a while ago, but I always like to show things. This is from 2014. I don't know if this is still available. Again, I got this as a kit. It's very cute, but I'm not exactly sure how it's supposed to be finished. So I did it in 2018. The fabric is bees. I believe that this part of the inside is supposed to be stitched together along the edge, and then it just flips over. I think that's how it's supposed to be. The instructions were a little vague in my mind on how to finish it. Anyway, but I do need to finish it. But it's really cute. Whoops, upside down. Needlewoman. Busy as a bee. The next one. This is a Plum Street. This is part of the Cereal Bowl collection. This was lesson 1. The reason I included this one is because she has a scissors in her hand. Cereal Bowl, lesson 1. And it says, make use of present time. And this one I made into a not great drum. Make use of present time. Love the big red house. Fancy Blacket. That, oh my gosh, things just like pop into your mind. Oh, Fancy Blacket was the Pineberry Lane girl, the name of the girl she chose. Jenny Bean was the name of Teresa's. And there's other ones, but I don't remember. That's not even in my memory, so no use looking through the vault for that one. Make use of present time. So it's cute. She has little scissors. Oh, there I go with my nose again. The next one is, and I framed this myself, I Belong to the Cross Stitch Nation. This is actually tan. I don't know why it shows up kind of a green gold. Anyway, it's definitely a brown tan. And this one is by Heartstring Samplery. These are pretty easy to find patterns. This one is, and I think the Plum Street one is too. Heartstring Samplery, I Belong to the Cross Stitch Nation, or just Cross Stitch Nation. This is one that was Blackbird. What's in here? Oh, lots of junk. Fabric. This, in 2019, Blackbird was at the attic. I did not go. That was when Lindsay was sick, but I got all the kit. So this was the Blackbird piece. It's in a box. Oops, sorry. It says she works with willing hands in delight. And I think I finished this a couple years ago. So that is Blackbird. That might be in Schoolgirl. I don't know if that's been released or not. It seems like it has, but I'm not sure. Oh, and then I have other things I didn't get out. Oh, well, I'll show you next time. And then there's the Brenda Gervais ones from Keeper of the Pins. Well, let me show you this one first. This is a single pattern. This is called Queen of the Needle. I did all the finishing on this one myself. With Thy Needle and Thread. Brenda Gervais, Queen of the Needle. Did I show you that long enough? Queen of the Needle. And then I didn't get out the Keeper of the Pins. Oh, maybe I did. I'll show you in a little bit. The Keeper of the Pins. I've done some of them, but not all of them. I've done 3 of them. This one. And I love this fabric. I'm not sure whose fabric it is. And then I did this one. And then I did this one. The tape measures on the back. And I have these all in a dough bowl that has some scissors, some various things. That's in my sewing room. And then I'm going to show you, oh shoot, hold please. This is one I showed you last week as a whip, and this is one that I'm going to work on finishing. This may be my February. I said Anne Grimshaw, but this one may be my February because I want to get this finished. There's not a whole lot to finish on this once I get past the dress. So I did iron it this time. It's called Needle and Thread. Sorry. Okay, I'm going too fast for people. Needle and Thread. With Thy Needle and Thread. This one, I don't know how readily available, but it should for sure be on her website, which is Country Stitches Online. I think I looked at it last night, and she opens again in February, sometime in February. I think now she's baking bread. I saw an Instagram post, Brenda Gervais. She was into sourdough, baking sourdough bread. So that's where I am, needle pulling thread. And that is one I want to get finished. So I can add it to my stuff. All this stuff we have. I don't know how all that fit in there. It's a bunch of fabric pieces. So I also had some haul, but I'm going to show you that at the end if I have time. But I wanted to show you some of the things that are in this cute bag. I gave my friend the fabric and she made it for me. It's the tomato pin cushions. And the inside is the red button polka dot. She makes bags, and then we just pay her for her time and effort. So I have a bunch of things in here, just charts. This is kind of where I keep all the charts that have to do with stitching. This one is by Hands on Design, Stitch Every Day. I have it kitted with gingerbread by Picture This Plus. Where am I going to put this stuff? Over there. This is a Little House Needleworks, Keeper of the Pins. I'm not a fan of how that's finished with the wool, so I think I would just do it plain. And I have the buttons and the thread in here. Keeper of the Pins by Little House Needleworks. Let's see. Little House Needleworks Thread Gathering. Thread Gathering. Little House Needleworks. I just love all those spools. It says cotton, wool, silk, cotton, wool, silk. I kitted this one a long time ago when I was, I don't know what kind of fabric this is. I was at Heart's Desire in Wichita. This is a piece of 32 count. Something. Bisque. I think this is by, that's a Lakeside piece. But this one is also by Little House Needleworks. It's called A Stitcher's Heart. I think I got the 32 counts so that it would make the heart big enough. I think that's probably what it calls for too. A Stitcher's Heart. That's really cute with the house. It says fabric, thread, scissors, needle. I love this one. This is by the Bay Needle Arts. Somebody recently I saw finish this one. I am a needlesmith. Love that. That's a lot of stitching. It's beautiful though. It's 120 by 152, stitched on 32 count even weave. Here's another Little House Needleworks, the Needlework ABCs. It says A, then B for button, C for crosses. Very cute. Another hands-on design, stitch over 2 all the day through. With a little piece of wool that you can use. So, I don't know, but that one came with the wool. Then you can put your pins in there, or you could leave it open on one end and put a little pair of scissors down there. I gotta pause. I just had a freak out moment. My daughter was calling. She never calls during the middle of the day. She called to tell me all of her scans came back negative, which we're always thankful. Because a lot of you that have followed me knew that she had had colon cancer and all of that. She doesn't call me in the middle of the day, but she calls me in the middle of the day and she goes, "Mom?" And I'm thinking, what? She's crying. I like, what's the matter? She goes, "Oh, I was just yawning." I'm going to kill her. I'm going to kill her. Then she starts cracking up. I'm like, okay, my heart was in my throat. Okay, calm down, girl. Back to stitching. Okay, so stitch over 2 all the day through. That's by Hands-On Design. And this one, why haven't I done this? I don't know. This is as old as I am, I think. Not quite. That would be really old. This, there's another version of this that was released in 2003. I don't know if I have it or not. This was 2008. This is Little House Needleworks, Home of a Needleworker. So these are all ones that I would love to stitch. I should do this one for sure. I have it kitted with linen and everything. This is I Collect. This would go perfect in that dough bowl. By With Thy Needle and Thread, I Collect. And this is hardly any stitching. It's mostly just those tomato pin cushions, the scissors, and then you just sew on a bunch of buttons or glue them if you're like me. A couple of these are sewing rolls, and so I thought I'd show them to you. You know, some of them have, you know, little, like this is Stacy Nash, and there's a bird up there. What is this? Oh, part of the bag. There's a little bird up there with a spool of thread. This is Bees and Birds sewing roll, Biscornu, and fob. So there's 3 pieces. 1, 2, and then the needle roll. I have that kitted. Here is a Not Forgotten Farm of female arts in use. Of female arts in usefulness, the needle far exceeds the rest. Love that one. This is a Chessie and Me, and the reason I picked this one is because it has a side piece that says for pins. This one is To Have a Friend. This came out fairly recently, I think. And then you fit it in that box. Berry Keeper. The reason I put this one is because she has all of the strawberries and the stitching strawberries. This is With Thy Needle and Thread, Berry Keeper. I got a bunch of them in here. Here's a Kathy Barrick, I Myself and Made Entirely of Floss Stitched Together with Good Intentions. And it's called Good Intentions. Will I get all these stitched someday? Probably not. See, these are ones you can sell someday on eBay, dear. Needlework, another one by Kathy Barrick. This one's really cute. This is 95 by 119. So, I mean, the border has, those stars are maybe a little tedious, but other than that, and then you can put an actual needle and thread in there. This is an old good housewife with my needle. A friend of mine has this on her wall. So I got this a long time ago. This came out in 2000. I don't know if you can still get this or not. Maybe eBay. With my needle, the good housewife. Another good housewife. All of my scattering moments are taken up with my needle. Ellen Birdseye. Another Kathy Barrick, My Day Complete. And it says, I cannot count my day complete until needle, thread, and fabric meet. I have that kitted with the NPIs. I need to do that one. My Day Complete. This is I put this in here because even though it's not necessarily stitching related, I would certainly put this in a dough bowl with all of it. And this is by the Scarlet House Schoolgirl Samplings. Here's another needle roll. Again, not necessarily stitching related, but because it's a needle roll, I have it in here. It's by Lottie Da. It's called Summertime Roll-Up Kit. Here's the Keeper of the Pins book. So I still have some of these to do that I want to finish. That one's been very popular. This is an old Stacy Nash. I got this years ago at a quilt fest where somebody was selling some cross stitch. This is Pins, Needles, and Scissors by Stacy Nash. I don't know if it's a really dark picture. It's hard to see. Another Scarlet House, Needfuls. Again, this would go great in the dough bowl. And even though I'm planning on concentrating on my whips, these are fun things to kind of stick in between, you know, pieces and just stitch for fun. Because smalls are always, you know, you get them done quick and then they're fun. Garden Birds. Again, this one is just a needle book. This is by Lottie Da, and this is a kit. It has all the stuff just like that home kit that I made. Garden Birds Tool Book Kit. You know, and sometimes designers have Etsy shops, so, you know, you might be able to find something like that. What the heck? Not sure what all this is. Okay. But what I had in here, I'll show you. It's the red, round red sampler. This goes on a little bowl. Round red sampler by Heart and Hand. But I have other things in here, so I don't know why. I have other things in here. Ay. Couple more. I'm just going to flash this. This is Needlebook by, who's this by? Marjorie Massey, I think. It was I did that on purpose very fast. It was a piece that came with Kitten Stitcher orders. So if you did any Kitten Stitcher orders at one time, they had that little needle book in there. The last one I want to show you is new. This is 2000. This came out last year. And this, I've seen people already finish this one, The Maker and the Mender by Brenda Gervais with a needle and thread. Oh no, I have a couple more. I have no idea if these are available. I saw these stitched up at a shop one time. I bought the ones I found, but I think there's more. They're by Cherrywood Studios. They came out a long time ago. 2011. This says Chart. By Cherrywood Studios. This one is by, this is Just Another Button Company. This one I actually made. I made it for Susan Aki as a gift one year. And it was huge. It was huge. It's pincushion. And you could do it different ways depending on what count you used. So there's choices. Just called Pincushion. It's by Just Another Button Company. I have no idea. The chart is CH 1010. So there's chart, pincushion, and scissors. Somewhere I think there's also needle and floss maybe, but I never could find all of them. This one again is by Cherrywood, and this is scissors. And they were done originally on that Weeks gingham. So that's like, I think, 28 count. So anyway, those are my stitching related pieces. And I think that's all I want to show you from there. I did make a few notes. And I was thinking maybe the reason we like Adam and Eve samplers is because in Genesis it says they sewed fig leaves together. Adam and Eve, after their sin, they sewed fig leaves together. So I don't know if that's one of the first references to sewing or not. Would seem like it, but I don't know. So I got a few things. I don't know if I mentioned this. I got this a while ago when this became available. This is Needlework Press, the Mary Carr 1840 sampler. If you watch Christy from Crosshatch Quilts, she has a lot of progress on this one, and it's gorgeous. I had ordered some of the Cedar River linen. I wanted to try that. I didn't get the red, so I may need to go back and get the red. But these are 4 of her new colors. This one is Albarium.
Who, me?
Yeah, Albarium. 6 foot under Albarium. It's not spelled like that. Arboreal. This is the beautiful green. Tephra. Tephra's a little more tan than what you're seeing. Somehow if we back up, it doesn't blow out as much. And then this is Overcast. Very, very nice linen. If you haven't ordered from Cedar River Linen, let me hold up her. Cedar River Linen and Design. Make sure you go to her website and try it out. She sells, I think, just fat quarters and fat halves, maybe? I don't know. And then from Traditional Stitches, the limited, and I love the verse of this. It's another one that's pretty bright, but I do love the verse. Lucy Barber, 1857 by Hands Across the Sea. This is an exclusive to Traditional Stitches. I believe you can still get it. I just got mine in the mail. And then I have a couple things that Happy Mail people sent me, which was way over the top. I think I had something else, but I forgot to get it out. Anyway, this is a bag from Barry Stitch Folk. She's one of those people that's a friend that I've never met. And this is dye-forward fabric, and it's for the Brenda's Big Birthday Sal, which is the Scarlet House piece, Martha Evans. So I have this all kitted, ready to go. I haven't started it. I probably will start it in February. And then another friend, and this one she's more than just one I've met online. I've actually met her in person at a retreat. And that is the famous and wonderful Lisa of Prims on Greenway. It's a long story, but suffice it to say that I did a good deed for her, and this is what she sent me in return. This is a book cover for my book of days. It's all wool. It's fabulous. So it's stiff cardboard covered fabric, and it has a elastic band. I have it covered, but it has elastic band in the middle, so you can just slide your book in and then use your book of days. So then when this year's over, I can slide this book out and put a new one in. Thank you, Lisa. This was so over the top. She is truly Prims on Greenway. She's one of the most creative people I think out there. Fabulous. She said this is a Maggie Bononomy wool piece with the ribbon ties, the little button on the back. Just detail is just fabulous. I am actually not creative. I am the type of person that I would call myself more of a technician. Like, I like to do, but I don't like to design. I don't have that kind of creativity. I'm more of a math-oriented, maybe a little OCD. But I like to do stuff. I like to sew. That's one of the reasons I started making quilts, because I love to sew. At one time in my life, believe this or not, I actually wanted to be a professional seamstress. I wanted to go to New York City and be a professional seamstress. Can you think of anything that would be more of a headache than making clothes for people that could pay to have custom-made clothes? Nope. That was in my young, naive days. Anyway, I like to do, but I don't like to design or create. I can follow a pattern. I love to see people's designs and then make them come to life, but as far as sitting down and designing, it's just not in my brain. So I'm very happy that there are creative people out there that I can do their designs, because that's what I like doing. So I think that is all I have to say, and I will be back in a couple weeks. Hopefully this will be uploaded by this weekend, which will be the last weekend in January. So February is approaching, and I hope you all are doing well, and enjoying whatever weather you're in. It's beautiful here today. I think it's about 72 degrees, so pretty perfect. No humidity. I love this time of year in Florida because it's our fall, so it's beautiful. So anyway, I will see you sometime soon. Love ya. Bye.